Hello, Fearless Gamers, and welcome to another podcast here on Fearless Games. I'm Matt the Vet, and today I'm joined by...
Matt the Clown.
And the Stark Lord.
How's it going?
I got Starburst.
He has Starburst.
Well, I had Starburst.
He ate them all while we were having technical difficulties.
They're delicious.
Yes, primarily you and your whole name thing.
Yes.
Because you don't want... You don't like being the Stark Lord anymore.
Wait, how is that a technical difficulty?
That was not a technical difficulty.
We were having problems with Skype. Don't lie.
Skype is an evil, evil mistress sometimes.
Skype is confusing because it doesn't know what to call you now.
No, Skype's just a garbage program.
Well, Skype calls me by my actual name, which is what pops up on the screen. I should really change that.
Yes, you should.
I have no idea how.
I'm gonna disseminate your name amongst the Fearless Gamers.
Skype me
It's already
anytime.
happened.
I'm always online. That's a lie. I'm never online. No, I'm always online.
I'm just
It's
glad
already
I got a
happened.
chance to use the word disseminate today.
Good. Good.
And so, yes, to clarify for all the Fearless Gamers, the reason why I decided I wanted the Stark Lord to be called the Stark Lord is for some strange reason. Don't ask me why. I know, I am very defensive.
It doesn't matter anymore, Matt.
That I, for some reason, thought people would establish you with Stark from Iron Man. Don't ask me why.
I thought they established me with Stark from Farscape.
I thought they were gonna connect him with Stark from Song of Ice and Fire.
This is very true.
I didn't know that there was there was the Stark family at the time in Game of Thrones with that, because I don't know nothing of Game of Thrones.
Oh, they're
Well,
good
that's
books.
because you're a plebeian.
I thought it was plebeian.
A what?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's plebeian. You plebe.
What are you
That
calling
doesn't
me?
sound right.
That sounds great. More plebs are needed.
He called you a commoner.
Okay.
In Latin, right? That's Latin.
I don't speak the Latins.
Okay, I can live with that. I'm a very common person.
I'm not from Latin America.
That's God, man.
And with that, I'm done.
Yay! It's a two-man podcast again. We don't have to use Skype.
We can turn the Skype off. Huzzah. So once again, Matt and I are using the same microphone, which actually probably caused the first initial round of technical difficulties.
No, I don't know. Don't
No.
blame my microphone.
No, I'm
No,
blaming
blame
your
Skype.
computer.
Oh, my
Skype.
laptop?
I'm blaming your laptop.
Listen, I will poop on this laptop one day. I'm so sick of it. And this
Which
is my
is
new
interesting, 'cause
laptop.
then-
I bought
yeah.
this in like March, and I'm already mad at it. I don't know if it's Windows 8 or I just got like a bad machine.
I'm going to blame Windows 8, because I hear Windows 8 is not that great.
Windows 8 is acceptable if you have a touchscreen accessible computer.
Yeah, it's not not user friendly. Like, it's still Windows.
Yeah.
But it's just not. I don't know if it's just not functioning, or if it's the computer not functioning. But I'm having problems, and I'm tired of them.
All I'm saying is I'm never using Windows 8, ever.
Oh, if I get another laptop, I'm going back to 7.
Yeah.
Good man.
7 was just fly.
7's the best
It
for
was-
gaming on, anyways. Windows 8
Oh,
is
yeah.
controlling, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like an app store, don't they? Practically.
You don't have to use it, though.
Yeah.
They keep
Yeah.
recommending, like, use this app. Like, there's a Skype app that it originally wanted me to install, but I can choose to install the program version over the app version. So it's not that controlling,
Okay.
but
It's all there to get you ready for Xbox One, because it's going to be the same interface.
Well, it's already, that's the Windows 8 interface. It's on everything.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
that's
it was
not-
necessarily put that way for the Xbox One.
I just don't know.
I think the Xbox One is just going to benefit from it.
Yeah. I don't know what Windows, and by Windows I mean Microsoft's obsession with the color magenta is. Like, everything Windows 8 has, like, that color in it somewhere on your initial startup screen.
You can change that.
I know you can, but they love it. They love magenta. I don't get why. They loved it with the Zune, too, and we all saw how well the Zune went.
Maybe they like Kamen Rider Decade.
By the way, who here owned a Zune? Anyone besides
No.
me? Anyone?
You owned a Zune?
It was
You
a
owned
gift
a
from my
Zune?
What is
grandma.
wrong with you?
Okay, at least it wasn't something you went out and said, I'm buying a Zune.
No, I refuse to buy products in general. I mean, I don't even buy my own clothes half the time. I just wait for Christmas.
You let
time.
mommy buy your clothes?
No, I let my friends buy my clothes. That's why I wear so many.
That's why.
shirts.
That's why he has. That's why our whole Legends of War thing is falling apart because he refuses to buy models for it.
I can't afford models right now.
Well, now you
That's
can.
your excuse for
Did you just get a
everything.
job?
I did officially, as of 3 hours ago, accept a new job, so I'll have money again.
Very
But you won't
nice.
have
Congrats.
Yeah. Then I won't have time to paint, but I'll have money for
Right.
models again. But then I have money
Oh,
to pay
please.
people to paint them.
Right.
If I can find time to paint, you can find time.
He'll
to
be
paint.
working a lot more hours than you do.
Yeah.
No offense.
That is no excuse.
Like,
That is no excuse.
I love painting. I'm only working 40 hours a week. I can't find time to paint.
I don't know
He's
how...
going to be working more hours than I do.
I will be working more hours than both of you combined. I don't know how I found time
Yeah.
back in the day when I worked at the other job where I was working 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I was still able to paint. I don't know how I found that time. I think it's because I couldn't
You
see
had
my
the
girlfriend.
passion. You're losing it.
No, I think I just found...
We're gonna set up a whole new like kitchen
Sleep
nightmare. We're gonna do
Sleep
we're gonna do model nightmare and get some professional model painter to come in and look at your setup and yell at you for an hour and then spend a bunch of $1 million to give you a brand new painting session so you can be like, oh my god, he turned my life around.
I don't know if you see my paint setup. It's actually not
I have.
terrible.
I've been to your place.
Yeah, I don't have a bad paint setup when I actually choose to sit
Well,
down
he's
and
gonna
paint.
say it's
I need
horrible
to-
anyway.
What?
I need a new paint set.
Yeah, I
my
mean-
table's really small.
Well, I actually use the GW paint station to hold all my models.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy it for myself. Someone else was like, here, you like painting stuff, you have this. And I'm like, sweet, and it actually turned out to be pretty decent. Just as a little thing to make sure I keep all my stuff in one spot. And I have a nice armature light over my paint area, which is great.
My problem right now is that all the lights I have that can make it easier to paint give off a lot more heat than makes me comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So my room gets really hot, so I put my fan on, but that doesn't help. But then I put my air conditioner on, but I can't do that during the winter.
Yeah.
And eventually my room gets too cold, so I gotta turn that off, and then it gets too hot again. And the whole thing is just way too frustrating to concentrate on painting, and that's where babies come from.
Yeah. I will say
Really?
I had a lot of issues this summer with humidity in painting. Every time I
Yes.
sat down to paint, I'd pull everything out, and it was humid, or the humidity level was too weird that day, that my paint either wasn't sticking to the model or was drying out on the brush, and I was just like, I can't deal with this
The
right
humidity
now.
this summer messed with a lot of things.
Yeah. It really did. Humidity,
Yeah.
Long Island and humidity, horrible
Not
combination. It's so common.
Well,
and it
we're
makes it
gonna
really hard to
get
do summer
comments
stuff.
from people in Florida being like,
Your humidity is kind of worse than I don't know how
Yeah.
they paint in Florida.
what it comes down to is
Please let us know.
if you're near the water, you're gonna be humid.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we came back from our trip just recently, Elena was looking outside and she's like, this is nothing now,
Yeah.
when she came back up here.
Okay, here's a question. So you went on a
Okay.
Disney cruise, correct?
Yes,
Did you go on one of the ships with the slide that goes around the smokestack?
the Aqueduct.
Yes.
Yes, we did. We did go on the Disney Fantasy, which was the second of the ship to get the Aqueduct, and is the first one to have the Aqualab.
What's an aqua lab?
Aqualab is a bunch of sprinklers and other things behind the Aqueduct.
So they put a what is that thing called? Slip and slide on the boat?
It's not really a slip and slide.
I know.
It's more, the Aqualab is just a bunch of, sprinklers and jets and such, like a place where you can cool down while you're waiting for the Aqueduct to be free.
That's nice, I suppose.
It was interesting. It's not a fast ride, but it's a fun little ride. You get a nice view of the ship, when you go around.
That's cool.
I refuse to go on a cruise.
Why?
We had this discussion last time. I don't like water if I can't see the
Oh,
bottom.
right, we had a discussion
I mean,
about
Well,
cracking
if
an
you go
adventure.
if you go through the Caribbean, you can see the bottom.
That's 'cause it's a marine desert. There's, nothing living technically down there.
What it comes down to is eventually Robin's gonna be like, well, I'm going on this cruise, and you're either coming with me or spending X amount of time completely by yourself while I'm having fun. And then I'll probably just be like, okay.
No,
I just won't leave the cabin. I
What you
won't
have
anywhere
to
near the
do,
water.
you have to find the right cruise for you, and there's a lot of really cool nerdy cruises right now, usually following bands
Did you
around.
just say nerdy cruise?
Like there's like a nerd cruise. Like
Is there a D&D cruise?
no, there's a Jonathan Colton musical festival cruise.
I don't consider that a nerd cruise.
Joko and Paul and Storm all day long for like 5 days.
That sounds awful.
Sounds awesome.
Listen, I like
I've been
Joko,
on.
but I wouldn't enjoy that.
I've been on.
Fair enough.
I've been on the Carnival and I've been on the Disney, and in my personal opinion, I think the Disney cruise is the best because there's a ton of stuff to do, and there was just so much awesome things to do on there. Like me and Elena were really bored between events that were happening on the boat, so we did this thing called the Midship Detective Agency, where you run around to different paintings and find clues to solve mysteries, and we did the Muppet one.
Of course, buckets are required.
And what's interesting, what I got a kick out of it is they actually made a tiny door for Pepe. So Pepe has his own little cruise cabin.
Well, yeah. He's
got his own phone number. He's got his own phone number. You can call him and you can get the joke of the day if you want him to woo you, if you want to hear the philosophy of the day. So a couple of cool things, but I did get to see a lot of movies for free and in 3D, which is awesome.
Were there any good ones you want to mention?
We saw Iron Man 3 in 3D,
cool,
which was just as good as the last time. We saw the Planes, which surprisingly is a lot better than how Disney advertises it.
I have a problem with anthropomorphized vehicles in a world without people, because I'm like, how does this exist? And Cars 1, the first Cars movie, is actually a decent movie. I just can't.
I don't like
get
Cars
past
1.
I think they do a good job storytelling. I mean, predictable story.
Well, there's the problem. I felt with Cars 1, it was just us waiting for the 5-minute the main character waiting for the 5-minute plot at the end. He was literally waiting to get to the plot.
Well, he had to appreciate the journey to the plot.
I understand, but it was just boring, in my opinion.
My
Planes
problem...
actually...
Go ahead. Finish your sentence.
Planes actually had a plot throughout it, and I was kind of interested to see how it came out. Like, I was genuinely interested in what happens to this character.
Okay. I probably still won't watch it until it's on TV.
My issue was actually... I read an article that managed to help me figure out exactly what my problem is with Planes and with Cars, and with many other children's movies that are coming out. And it's the fact that they're all the same plot of this underdog character who has this lofty dream, manages to execute that dream based just on really wanting it, maybe a little luck, and absolutely zero effort.
Yeah.
And that's a message that I don't think is healthy.
No, that's
it
the
was
positive thinking, is what you're saying.
I understand the concept of wanting our children to think positively,
mm-hmm.
but I compared it to Charlie Brown, where Charlie Brown is the ultimate optimist because he keeps trying to kick the football, but he never does. But he'll try it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, the difference is he doesn't kick the football one day because he really thinks he's going to. If he really wanted to kick that football, he'd have to put like a year of effort into kicking footballs, and even then he might not kick a football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like with Planes, it's about a crop duster that becomes a racing plane, and like, does he win the race?
Well, he does, but the thing is unlike some of those other films like you mentioned, he crop dusts in the morning, and then after he's done, him and his fuel truck buddy train for racing in the preliminaries. And then he starts training with a fighter pilot plane to get better at racing, so he could qualify for the race.
But he's not training with racers. He's training with a truck and a fighter plane.
Well, that's the whole thing, is the fighter plane is actually, the fighter plane is one of it was his whole the theory was the fighter plane was the only plane on the field that he worked with that was built for high speed flying. So that's why he went to the old man, because he figured if anyone could give him some pointers, it would be him. The truck, they outright say, like, the elder plane outright says, you've been training wrong this whole time. You're an idiot for that. And even the gas truck is like, you should probably train with a plane, instead of me, because I'm not a plane.
Okay, that's a step in the right direction.
I think the step in the best direction was Princess and the Frog.
Don't talk to me about Princess and the Frog.
What?
That was
that
whole
movie was
giant...
racist as hell.
Okay.
Which part?
That film...
The Firefly.
Again, 2.
That film...
Good answer. Could someone else give me a different answer than that? And I'm like, you're racist because you thought that was something else.
What was there?
That film was, one, it felt like half the music was crammed in there because they're like, crap, it's a Disney movie, we need a song now. Half the time I couldn't understand what they were saying in the songs. And it was all about Disney logic for technically making people princesses when technically they shouldn't.
That's fine. Look, all I'm saying is that
what was
movie...
your point?
My point was that movie had a good message when it came to you have a dream, that's great. You find out how to achieve that dream, you work hard, and you do everything you can to get it. It was about working hard.
She put a lot of effort
into doing it.
And
she, in the course of the movie, learns how to also, don't just put everything into looking at the destination, try to enjoy the journey herself. Mm-hmm. And then her counterpart, the prince, learned how to actually take some responsibility instead of just, playing guitar all day. He learns responsibility from her, and she learns a little bit of, I know that's my goal, but I should enjoy some of life while getting to said goal. Or I missed it.
The moral message behind the movie isn't bad. It's just I just couldn't stand the film.
But Keith David did such a wonderful job with his villain song.
He was the only good part of the movie.
He was a great part of that.
Yes, he was. He's the only reason I sat through that film. He was probably one of my favorite Disney villains in the last couple of Disney films that they've produced.
Keith David is one of my favorite actors, and I'm sad that he's getting older because it's going to restrict the roles he can play.
Yeah.
But at least we have Idris Elba.
He's replacing him a little bit for us.
I've been talking about Idris Elba for days.
You really have. He really has. I've been sitting here listening to him talk about Idris Elba for days. Every time I'm here, it's Idris Elba this, Idris Elba that.
I'm an American.
Another 2 films that I saw while I was there was Monsters University.
Okay.
Which was actually just as good, if not better, than the first film.
I never saw the first one.
The first one's okay.
Well, what's great about this film is one, it establishes more character relationships, so it kind of explains some of the ways why the characters are the way they are in the first film. And what I love about it is the ending is non-Hollywood. You look at it and you're thinking, oh, okay, this is going to happen, and then everybody's happy, and no, it's nothing like that. And the ending you think they're going to have, they don't use, which I liked about it. Through the whole thing, I was sitting there going, this is the part where this happens, and then this happens, and that never happened, which was great.
That's cool.
And the other film that we saw was The Lone Ranger.
I'm so sorry.
I'd actually like to hear your opinion on it, because I saw The Lone Ranger as well.
First and foremost, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I went in with very low expectations, and I went with 2 people who grew up with The Lone Ranger. My dad said, from a purist standpoint, it was completely off the ball.
Yeah.
But from a lenient point of view, someone who enjoyed the show, knows the characters, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. I'm glad that Johnny Depp wasn't in it as much as the trailers made it look like he was in it.
Also, he's not as horribly racist as a lot of people thought the movie was going to be. Not racist, but...
Purely him being cast in that role is racist.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, but he did a good job with the situation.
Well, what it is the trailers, a lot of the trailers made it look like it was going to be Tonto the movie, and it wasn't. I think the greatest problem...
Though he does have some great scenes in there, like him and the horse, all those scenes are great. Him and the horse.
I will have to say probably my biggest problem with the film was... Remember how James said his issue with Heath Ledger as the Joker was if you called him something different, it would not have changed the film at all? Or the character? I felt the same thing about this film. You could have called it something totally different, and it would have had no impact. There was nothing in this film that made me go, this is a Lone Ranger movie, this film can only be called The Lone Ranger.
Well, that's part of the problem with the Lone Ranger.
He's a kind of a
The
generic
Lone Ranger.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the good way of saying it is he's an everyman hero. The bad way of saying it is that he's milquetoast.
Yeah. I remember me and Matt were talking about it, and he kept like, I remember being like this. I'm like, no, Matt, that was Zorro. He's like, what about this? That was also Zorro.
That's Catherine.
Was that Catherine? Yeah, sorry.
You had that conversation with me about
that.
Catherine.
Yeah, like she...
Trust me, I
right.
know me some Zorro.
I know. Like, she confused him with Zorro, because they have similar... There's nothing similar about them except that they're guys in masks with hats that ride horses. And
well, their colors.
Zorro's
their colors are different. That was one thing.
Lone Ranger.
That was one thing my dad didn't like, was that he felt the Lone Ranger was too much of a jerk, and he wore black instead of white.
He doesn't wear white.
He wears white. He wears a white shirt.
No, the comics he wears a blue shirt.
Yeah, but he doesn't wear black.
Dad is familiar with the TV.
Right. I read the old pulps because I'm that kind of nerd. I don't remember the
No, he's talking about the TV show.
Yeah,
okay.
The TV show he wore white.
He dressed like he is in the comic, if I recall, with a blue shirt, red scarfy thing, white hat.
Well, he's wearing mostly black in the movie.
Wasn't
if it's blue, it's a very dark blue.
When there wasn't a lot of color going on TV?
Yeah, he was in black
and white. It's possible the actual Lone Ranger costume had a blue shirt that read as white.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Dorothy costume, that thing wasn't white and blue, it was pink and blue. Because pink can read as white, depending on the gray intensities and the color modification at the time.
Well, no, it was because with the new Technicolor stuff, the white looked painted on, so they had to make it another color so it looked natural.
Yep.
I will say, the use of the theme song was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite moment.
One of my favorite moments, Matt doesn't remember the theme song.
That was the William Tell Overture.
Yep.
Oh. That's not a theme song, that's the William Tell Overture.
They used that for the movie, and they used it well, and they used it for the TV show. Again, my favorite stuff is anything with Tonto and the horse. Like, I cannot tell if this horse is stupid or acting stupid. That whole part, genius. Like, talking with the horse was really well. And then him I like that it was the two protagonists were pretty much actively working against each other for half the movie.
Well, I told you about that, right? With the original last episode.
Oh, yeah.
They ended up getting censored because it was too messed up. Did I tell you about this, Biz?
No.
Okay, the original script for the Lone Ranger final episode, by my understanding, it ended with Lone Ranger and Tonto surrounded by Native Americans, and the Native Americans all have like spears and junk, and the Lone Ranger looks at Tonto. He's like, "Well, Kemosabe, it looks like we're done for." And then Tonto looks at him and goes, "What do you mean we, white man?" And that's the end of the episode, with Tonto turning on him.
Yeah.
And I imagine the censors of the time read that and went, no.
Well, a lot of TV shows from back in the day had really depressing concept endings that they took out. Yeah, like The Fugitive, it ends with, like, the main character drops whatever on the beach,
Island.
and then, they find out he's got
He takes his arm off.
Yeah, he takes off the arm, so he was the one-armed man the entire time, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we just ruined the movie for you. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, and now I'm like,
which one?
What?
The Harrison Ford one?
The best part of that movie is when Tommy Lee Jones like catches up to him in the sewer drain, the sewer.
Oh yes.
And Harrison Ford's like, "I didn't kill my wife," and Tommy Lee Jones just goes, "I don't care."
Yeah, and you know what?
Really?
Yeah, Tommy Lee.
I would have given Tommy Lee Jones a high five.
Yeah, he was just supposed to shoot at him.
That's a great line. Oh,
that was a great moment in that movie.
You've never watched like the top 100 ad-lib movie lines in YouTube?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes, you do. You have all the free time. I watch
And
it.
that,
Well, I don't know.
Gentleman, was the most dated meme reference on the podcast.
What?
So before you guys said you had no time for painting,
Okay.
but now the Stark Lord says that you have time to watch YouTube videos.
I do have time to watch YouTube videos. I watch Game Grumps constantly because Game Grumps is great.
It's alright. I kind of fell out with it.
They've been playing Kirby's Epic Yarn, and
I
it's
saw.
great.
I
And
love
they've been
playing
playing
Kirby.
Mario Sunshine, and it's cool.
Kirby Epic Yarn, by the way, is a great game. If you didn't play it, you should. Which brings us to the comment on our last episode.
I was
Oh,
actually
yeah.
going to bring that up.
Yeah, the comment was, I think it was from Wolf Hybrid.
It was Ninja Wolf Hybrid, which
I don't want to look
just
up on my
before you
computer
go,
because everything messes up when I look at it.
just before you bring that up, there is one thing that I want to mention about Ninja Wolf Hybrid. He actually has a game on the internet called Time Hammer.
Is it any good?
It's pretty good. It's really tough. It's a side-scrolling platformer.
Put a link in the description.
Yeah,
I
we'll
shall
definitely
put a link
put
in the
it on
description
channel.
so people can check it out. And here is a link for you guys so you can
Uh-oh.
check it out. It's actually really good. I've only been able to get past the first level.
That's
Okay.
too bad.
You are
Oh,
bad.
I am
again.
horrible at platforms. And I've been sitting on a boat all
But, let's-
for the last week playing with dolphins.
Were you singing the song?
What?
I know it's dated now, but when you're singing the song,
What song?
I'm on a boat.
We did do that joke once.
Fair enough. With your flippy floppies?
No, we just walked onto the boat, and while we were walking to our room, I turned to Elena and went, "I'm on a boat."
See, I need to upgrade that one the next time I do it. I need to climb a buoy before I can do that again. He climbs buoys.
Okay.
Forget trees. Well, you know what the real line is.
So, getting back to the comment,
The comment was 3 games that you want to play and 3 games
what
that...
3 games would you most like to replay, and what 3 games you'd never played are you interested in picking up?
I've been rolling that question over since he asked it, and I still don't have 3 choices in both.
Okay. I'll start, I guess. So, 3
Okay.
games I would like to replay.
Mm-hmm.
Getting some weird lag going.
Yeah, a little bit.
The first game I would like to replay, because of its recent re-release,
Mm-hmm.
DuckTales. I very much want to pick that up. I've been meaning to. I haven't gotten around to it. Second game to replay would be the Goemon game, the Mystical Ninja Goemon game for N64, because I never beat it. And now I want to beat it. And maybe one day. And then the third one? That's the hard... Red Dead Redemption. I've been meaning to replay that for a long time, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Games I've not played but want to pick up. Well, I have a whole bunch of games on Steam I haven't played. One of which is Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
I can only play like 2 minutes of that game a day, and then I have to stop.
I am a big pants pooper.
Same here.
I am really bad at scary games, but that game is
Okay.
so good from what I've seen. And it was given to me by a friend, so I have, like, moral obligations to play it one day.
I have played a grand total of 72 minutes of that game. The last time I played it was 5/25/2013.
I've installed it and uninstalled it 10 times.
Elena keeps looking at me and going, "You wuss." And I'm like, "It's
You
scary!"
are- It is spooky. The 2 other games I haven't played that I'd like to pick up, this is a tough one. Probably Legend of Zelda Phantom Tracks.
Okay.
I wanted to play it, I never picked it up. I'll probably get it eventually. And I recently picked up a 3DS. I'm trying to think of what's on it.
The new Castlevania game is actually pretty good.
Yeah, maybe that. I don't know.
The game has been really good. I like how they use the touchscreen as just your map. That's for where you've been. And the controls are really simple.
Cool.
It feels very much like a console game.
Man, I can't think of a third one that I haven't played. I guess the Penumbra games, because it's sort of the precursor to the Amnesia games.
Okay.
So it's like...
I have... The one thing I hate about those is that Steam has them, and when they put them in order, they rearrange the order because they put them alphabetically, and that switches up like 2 with 1 and 1 with 3.
Yeah, I had to Google it.
For me,
but
3 games that I would like to replay. One would be Vampire the Masquerade, Dark Redemption, or whatever. Redemption.
Okay.
That one. It's with Dev Null, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, Romeo, Wilhelm, whatever, Katarina the Wise. I could name almost every character, which is really bad.
Pink.
Yep,
That's my
Pink.
stupid name.
I knew you were going to make that joke. I hate you so
I know.
much.
Way to ruin the game for everyone that hasn't played it.
Yeah, you.
Let's see. Another 2 that I would like to play. One that I'd like to play, because I never beat it, primarily because my PC would either have way too many problems, or I just couldn't beat it, was the Black and White series.
Okay. I knew about them, I was interested in back in the time, and I never played them.
Oh,
I played
those
the
games
first
were made...
one. It was okay.
Those games were made back in the day when Lionsgate cared. Now they just want to make the games as easy as possible so they can go, our games are beatable.
It's better than EA pushing them out before they're done.
That is true. Which is why anyone who wants to get The Sims 4, just remember, they promised a lot of stuff in SimCity and it never happened.
Hopefully they learned from that, though.
Yes. Oh, no, they won't.
Because that was a debacle, dude.
It was a big problem.
Here's
People
some
were
big
considering
issues.
class action lawsuits. Like, that's how big
Here's an issue with SimCity is, one, the Sims change jobs each day. So if you followed a Sim, he would go to a different building each day when he went to work. And the algorithm designed for travel, the Sims, regardless of traffic, will take the shortest route, no matter what.
Right.
No matter how many roads you build, no matter how much traffic is lessened on the side streets, if it's not the shortest distance between the point that they need to get to, they will not do it. And all the cops chase one criminal at a time. So you can have 20 cops, and they'll all chase one criminal.
That's kind of funny.
It's bad. But the third game that I'd like to replay would be... that is a tough one for me. What?
Buttcraft.
Buttcraft.
I don't know, it's a joke.
That's the,
probably Super Godzilla for the Super NES, because it was the only Super NES game that I beat.
You disgust me.
Hey, it was the only good Godzilla game ever made. All the other ones were
I disagree. The fighting games, I think, for the GameCube, those were pretty fly.
Those were fun, but I'm talking story plot-wise. Those are great for if you're playing with a friend. What?
It's a Godzilla game. There's not going to be plot.
Well, this one had a good one.
What? He goes
it.
stomping, and then it doesn't go like he planned, so he stomps something else, and then gets back to stomping?
No, aliens attack, and a group of scientists implant a beacon in Godzilla so they can control where he goes. And you use him to stop all the monsters.
It's not a plot! It's not a good plot!
That is a plot. It's a better plot than there were in the other ones.
And we're going to get into this conversation. It's just...
You will get into it.
No.
Now.
Starkler,
now.
Please, help me.
Okay. So, ignore your...
So 3 games that I've never played and would like to play would be, I would have to say, the Half-Life series.
Okay.
I would be with Matt as well. The Penumbra series is something I've always wanted to check out, but I'm too scared to try. And the third one?
Wait, what was the second one?
Penumbra.
Oh, yeah.
The third one I'd have to say would be the, that is a tough one.
Yeah, it's hard to come up with a lot.
I would-
So I wouldn't get confused.
Nice.
I would probably say, Pandora's Tower, because I liked the last story, and it's the same company, and I hear nothing but great things from it.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, we've never heard of this.
It's a JRPG, and it was when the Wii was in its last run. They just sent out a bunch of RPG games that came out, and they were done by Xseed, who was founded by the guy that originally did Final Fantasy, and they're phenomenal. Like,
Actually, no, I'm gonna modify. I'm gonna take Penumbra out of my list. And
Okay.
I forgot that they had made a Sword Art Online game.
yes,
I think it was for the PSP.
Yep.
I want to try that because I like that anime a lot.
That was a good anime.
I haven't actually seen it.
It's
you'd
on
like it.
Hulu. Watch it.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. It's good.
I did find out recently that they're going to be re-releasing the original Space Pirate Captain Harlock tomorrow
Meh.
on DVD.
Cool.
All 41 episodes,
Meh.
so I'm excited.
Good for you.
Meh.
You're so mad. That's terrible.
He's allowed to be
so,
mad. He's not as big an anime fan.
What, was that your whole list?
Yeah, well, that was 6.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Okay, so
Learn to count.
I will learn to count eventually. Okay, so
Get the count to teach you.
what?
Get the count to teach you to count.
Oh God, one. No.
Okay,
No.
do your
No
list.
count. So for the list, games that I haven't played that I would like to, just starting right at the top, Star Fox.
You mean Star
You
Fox
never played
64?
Star Fox?
I've never played any of the Star Fox games. I would like to play
Okay,
Star Fox
the
64.
Star Fox game for the Super Nintendo was not good.
Okay, then Star Fox
It was
64.
eh.
I've always wanted.
64 was... The only thing I had with 64 is I thought it was too easy.
Go.
Too
I can't tell you what I want to say, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'll fight you.
Wait, you thought it was hard?
I'm not saying I thought it was hard. I'm saying I thought it was great.
I'm not saying that it was terrible. I'm just saying I wished it was a little bit more difficult. That's all. I love the game.
It didn't.
Play
need
it
more
blindfolded. It should
difficulty.
increase the difficulty.
Like that guy who can play Punch-Out blindfolded?
Yeah. Overall, though, I never played any of them, and I like flying games and space combat games. So like,
They're pretty
it's-
solid
and
on
I
that
never
front.
played it.
Just don't play that one where they tried to do the ground stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I know
Yeah, that was
one.
like Star
Assault?
Fox Adventure. Or something
Yeah,
nonsense.
that was a reskin of a different game, pretty much.
Yes.
After that, I'd never played DuckTales either, and since they remastered it, it'd be a good time to play it. And
Yeah.
Jade Empire.
I bought you that.
I know, Matt got it for me for Christmas, like on Steam, like, I don't know, like 5 years ago. And every time I go to install it, I have to do something else, and I've yet to actually play it.
I've
I'm
heard of
gonna-
that game. I've
I'm
never
gonna
played
take a
it.
moment.
I know. I didn't want to admit this to Matt.
Jade Empire is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm adding it as a fourth that I need to play through again
Mm-hmm.
because it's been too long. That game, I'm such a kung fu movie nerd that game hits me on so many levels, and I'm not sure I'm talking to you right now because you haven't played it yet.
I know.
Oh my
Let's
god!
see, what is this game about?
It's about awesome kung fu-iness.
Yeah, it's a kung fu movie.
Okay.
And Nathan Fillion's in it.
Yep.
And
That just makes it even better.
Yeah, John Cleese's in it too. Yeah.
And
That just makes it even better.
It was it BioWare?
Yep, back when they were good.
Back like when it was right before
And
they
it's,
came out with the Star Wars game, KOTOR.
It's a slightly modified version of the KOTOR system.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very good. You should buy it right now on Steam. Everyone listening should buy it right now on Steam. Drop everything that you're doing. Don't go to work tomorrow. Play Jade Empire. Now
Let's
finish
see,
the
Jade.
first.
And then for games that I
Oh, it's only
would like.
$14.
What happened, Vince?
He's looking
Special edition of Jade Empire is only $14.
Wait for the Christmas sale. It'll probably go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I never buy anything unless Steam has a sale.
Fair. What was it? Games that would replay. At the top of the list is always Final Fantasy VI because that is like the greatest JRPG ever.
Nerd.
I love that
That's
game.
one I haven't played.
And that's a sin that you haven't. It is a great game. This was tough because it's hard to find something else to keep on this list, but Vampire the Masquerade Redemption also, I need to replay that.
Didn't you just recently replay that?
Yeah, I didn't finish replaying it, so I have to replay the
Okay, so
replay.
you want to finish your replay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Such a good game.
It was okay.
I love that game. It's not a good game. Replaying it, I'm like, this has got some flaws. I know where all the fun things are.
I played the multiplayer once, and I ran into
never played the
somebody
multiplayer.
who was still human and somehow had managed to get all the true faith powers.
Yeah, you can do that.
I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know what it was.
I knew all the commands.
And they just looked right at me and torched me. And it was hilarious in retrospect.
Yep.
I never knew that game had a multiplayer.
Multiplayer was
wasn't
really tough to play around.
It was bad.
You could be like a storyteller and like control like a scenario and build one and stuff.
It was kind of like Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah.
Never played.
You never played Neverwinter Nights?
No.
You ever played Baldur's Gate?
Nope. Sadly not.
I'm gonna fight you. You guys both have
Well-
bad taste in games.
Well, here's the thing is I didn't get a computer that could actually game until I was in junior high school.
Matt, I didn't get a computer that could play
Neverwinter
games
Nights
until
came out when we were in college.
Did it?
Yeah.
I thought Neverwinter Nights was an older game.
2002, 2003.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Baldur's Gate is older, but the Baldur's Gate remastered
Let's see.
edition is on Steam right now, so you don't have an excuse.
Yeah, no. I know. It's just I haven't had a chance to get any of them.
Yeah.
But Baldur's Gate is on my list of things to grab.
Yeah.
Better be.
And this was a tough choice because I didn't want to add another RPG onto the list. But
Why?
because I had like 4 RPGs and I wanted to, diversify because I like so many games. But there's actually, I love the Metroid games, and I've never finished Metroid Prime, and I really enjoyed it. So I'd like to
Is
replay
Metroid
that.
Prime an RPG?
No.
Oh. Because
It's a
the way
side
you were
scroller.
saying it made it seem like it was going to be another
Well,
RPG.
I had Final Fantasy VI and Vampire the Masquerade. I almost had a third RPG. I almost put Diablo 2 in there. Those were 3 RPGs.
Yeah, we talked about... I already talked about how I feel about Diablo 2 last time.
Well, you feel about Diablo 1 how I feel about Diablo 2.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. I do have Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, and I got to a point where I got stuck, and so I haven't played it since.
Okay, like, I just want to play the first Metroid Prime. That one was great.
I'm just
and
gonna...
I didn't get a chance to finish it, ever.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't really like Metroid at all.
That's fine. I love Metroid.
I was never a fan. I bought the game. I forget what. I think that was a game I got as a present because it was a Wii launch title.
Mm-hmm.
I was always more of a Castlevania
I was about to
guy.
say, as long as you like Castlevania, then you're cool with me, because Metroidvanian is a format of game.
Yeah.
And I was big on... I love Super Metroid. Super Metroid's like my favorite game.
I think I just don't really like aliens
Fair enough.
as the enemy,
Mhm.
whereas I prefer like monsters.
Yeah, I understand.
It's just like I guess I prefer
Understandable.
fantasy to sci-fi.
Yeah, and I first thought
Um,
about Fantasy was slightly different on that one.
So like Simon Belmont is super my jam.
I'm a big fan of Samus. Can't go wrong with Samus.
I don't have a problem with Samus, and she looks cool. Well, okay, Samus in the super suit looks cool. I still believe the Zero suit is just like
It's
nonsense
cheesecake.
fan service.
It's cheesecake.
I never knew that Samus was a girl.
In the
A
original...
lot of gamers didn't realize.
Yeah. The first game, it was not mentioned. The first game, it actually just says he in the entirety of, like, the player's guide, and this is the Nintendo one. Metroid 2 is when you find out that that's when her suit breaks and you can see that she's a human in there.
Yeah.
Only if you do a certain thing.
No. Metroid 2, it was normal. Metroid 3 is what you're... Not Metroid 3. Super Metroid has it...
Okay.
Super Metroid has, if you blow up, you obviously see that you're a female in there after you blow up and die. And then it has different endings based on how fast you beat it. First ending just being, Samus giving you a thumbs up, good job. If you took over 6 hours, you took between 2 to 6 hours. She took off her helmet and gave you a good job, thumbs up. And if you did it in under 2 hours, it was Samus in a bikini.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Nintendo.
I hate to say it, I just want to beat the game in under 2 hours. Not because I want that, just because I want to beat the game in under 2 hours, because that's clearly what the developers wanted you to do.
You're allowed to want to see a pixelated girl in a bikini. I won't judge you.
Yeah, no, but it's more about just beating it in the time span, saying, I did this the way it should have been. That's like really winning that game.
I don't know why this reminds
I've
me.
never done under 3 hours.
This conversation is reminding me of one of my favorite things that was like a thing in early Nintendo that no longer is a thing in Nintendo. It's a very specific character called Birdo.
Birdo was on Nintendo.
What'd you say?
Birdo was in Nintendo. Oh, whatever. Continue.
I was talking about Nintendo.
Yeah, I know.
Birdo made his first appearance in Super Mario 2. The Super Mario 2 manual constantly called Birdo a guy, a male, a man, a dude. Danglies.
Mm-hmm.
They have since retconned Birdo into being a female,
Really?
and that bothers me.
Yep.
Yeah, that bothers me too.
Because why? Yeah, he's pink. He's got a bow. Why does he got to be a girl? Why can't a guy be pink and like a bow?
Yeah. I was okay with them changing Samus's gender technically between the first and second game because
That doesn't count.
it was probably a translation error, and second, she was mysterious in the first game. You didn't know anything about Samus except that it was a bounty hunter in a suit. It didn't matter.
If it was a matter of like between the first game and the second game, something like that, that's fine. I mean, you look at Legend of Zelda 1 and then Legend of Zelda 2, and they've made some pretty enormous changes that didn't necessarily stick.
True.
People were still testing the waters and experimenting at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this was something where Birdo was in a game and was a guy for like a decade.
Yeah, I thought the Birdo was still a guy.
No, they have retconned that
How long ago did they retcon it?
a while ago.
Quite a bit.
Like 10, 15 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm out of touch.
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah,
play
we were
Super
teenagers.
Mario games. Except for Super Mario Galaxy 1 was pretty solid.
I never played it, but I wanted to.
It was a lot of fun.
Most of the Mario games are fun. They need to be.
It's true. Mario's not about, great stories and epic graphics. It's about having
fun.
a fun game.
That's what I love about Nintendo.
That's what I love about video games. My problem with that statement is that Nintendo's not the only one who makes games that are geared towards being fun.
Well, that's the thing, is just in my personal, I guess in my personal opinion, I feel I find that Nintendo games are the ones that I get that fun enjoyment more out of because, and I only state this because I find a game, for me, is really enjoyable and really fun if after beating it, I want to play it again. And I tend to get that feeling after a lot of Nintendo games over other systems.
Okay. I approach it differently, but, we're different people. We're allowed to feel different ways. We live in America. We're not in Russia. Man, Russia's a screwed up country. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
And speaking of, if you check, there's a link below to the cover of the new Space Marine Codex, in which pre-orders come out this Saturday.
Yep.
I thought you said Pokemon pre-orders for a second, and I was like, that's what?
Oh. So, I know Basic Friday don't launch this, but Video Game Hype.
Can't hear you guys, got cut off. Hello?
You started doing things with your...
I hit the link. The link killed everything. Hello?
Okay. Okay, real
yeah,
quick.
I know what you...
If Stark-Lord, rather, does anything while Skype is up, it's gonna drop the audio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't...
Well, that's the only link I'm going to be posting. In it, it has confirmed it looks like that Black Templar will be in the book. And they've got two chapter tactics. One is accept any challenges no matter the odds, which when engaged in a challenge, Black Templar characters re-roll all failed to hit rolls, and have the Rending special rule, and they have Crusaders. Black Templars have the Crusader and Adamantium Will special rule. In addition, Black Templars have access to a special unit called a Crusader Squad.
Yay for Crusaders. Let's wait till that book's out to really dive into it, because I'm already spaced right now, and it hasn't even come out.
Yeah.
But I was going to say really quick, speaking of, since Matt thought you said Pokemon before, there's a show on Rocket Jump, which is also on YouTube, called Video Game High School. I don't know if you've watched it. First off, I think it's great. They're on their second season. But one of the best things they introduced in this season, and it was probably just for the one episode, was Pokermon. And it was a weird mix of Pokemon and poker. And I can't tell how the game's played, except for that it was cool. And the animals were cute.
Okay. Can I say one thing real quick?
Okay.
One of my favorite things about JRPGs, or certain JRPGs, such as Final Fantasy VIII,
Okay.
is the fact that they come with these completely pointless and out of this, like, just out there card games.
Yeah.
Like in Final Fantasy VIII, there was this card game that people played and took real seriously in the setting, and you could play that card game and really only do that. Like, you could
We had
get
someone
gameplay out of that.
We had someone who because of the card game was able to beat that game at level 5.
That's cool.
Yeah, well,
Because you just junction certain abilities
yeah,
to
you
you.
beat that game at
At
level
7.
5 with the junctioning ability.
I know you can do it at 7, no
Yep.
problem. I
Yeah.
didn't know you could do it at
Yep,
5.
and you just run away from all the random encounters and only fight the bosses, because that game decided bosses shouldn't give you XP.
Yep.
But you know what I really... I love that, but it always confused me that Square Enix, or well, Squaresoft at the time, never actually put that out as a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they never made those card games into actual games. You know how much that would sell?
It may or may not, I don't know.
Wasn't there one in Final Fantasy X?
I think Final Fantasy X was just Blitzball. There might have been a...
Yeah.
No, it had a card game too.
Did it? I don't remember.
But anyway, if one of the Final Fantasy card games came out as an actual game,
I'd probably play it, and I wouldn't even know
yeah,
what it
you would
was.
absolutely.
If
Don't
there's
even
Final
lie.
Fantasy on it, I'm in. It's terrible.
Right. And the thing is, it's not even like they were bad games. They were decent games. So they could probably make a lot of money putting one of these out. What are you doing, Square? Do it. We want it. Take our yen. Because we're gonna have to get them imported. Heck, I was shocked that Bandai only recently. Actually, I don't think it was Bandai, but somebody only recently put out a set for the cards from Kamen Rider Blade, and there's not even a game attached. But boy, did that sell!
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
can
they're
imagine.
card-based riders.
The only thing that I remember Square Enix doing right on the merchandising front is some really nice limited edition figures and stuffed animals of the summons, specifically the ones that Lulu used in Final Fantasy X. So, like, her dolls, like, I bought my girlfriend a Moogle.
You would.
Because it was awesome. Well, she made her own. The first cosplay...
And so you bought her one to tell her that it wasn't good.
No, she didn't like her. She made a great Cactuar, and her Moogle was okay, so I got her another Moogle, because she was like, that's awesome. She liked it.
Everyone likes Moogles.
By the way,
I
Mog,
think
the
Potion
Moogle...
was the best thing they came out with.
What?
Potion?
What's Potion?
They came out with like a health
Drink.
drink that was in like fancy glass vials. That was Final Fantasy Potion.
See, potions.
And the
You never heard
the
about
ad
that?
was great. Like, people would drink one and then they'd get like little green numbers over their head.
Nope, never heard of it.
Really?
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, well, YouTube.
I mean, I know,
will
like, mana potions, but that's a separate thing.
No, this is like legit Final Fantasy Potion. And if I'd known how to like get stuff like that imported at the time, I would have a whole bunch of them in my room right now.
Yeah.
But it's too late. They've all been drank.
No more potions.
Yeah.
Can we get a Phoenix down?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
an Ether.
Nope.
No?
But what were you about to say?
I totally
Some
forgot.
Moogles. Moogles.
Mog the Moogle, Final Fantasy VI, best Moogle ever.
I
Playable
disagree.
character, he has a spear and he kicks butt.
Okay, I disagree.
Who's better Moogle? Can you name any other Moogles?
I can't name any Moogles at all.
Exactly.
I couldn't name Mog.
See, this is what I got named for the Final Fantasy 6, because you're clearly not in the conversation now about awesome Final Fantasy 6 characters.
Also, don't all the Moogles other than Mog have names that have, like, Kupo as part of it in there somewhere, to the extent where it's about as hard as separating their names from, like, all the names in Tai Chi Hero?
Yeah.
I have yet to see Tai Chi Hero. How
I
is that?
bought it today.
Just
It's
watched Tai
good.
Chi Hero. It was worth it.
It's good.
But yeah,
I have to see that movie.
in the other Final Fantasy games, like in Final Fantasy 4, they did not speak any language at all. Just said Kupo, so you didn't know their names.
Yeah.
Language.
Yeah, exactly. It was something you could understand as a human.
Mark.
6 had names, but no one remembers anyone past Mog because he's the only playable character. And then after that, you're right, they all had Kupo-y names, or they just said Kupo, and that was about it.
Right, so...
Or Kupu.
You want to know why I can't name any other Moogles? Because all their names are the same, and it's not even racist.
No, that might be racist. It could be the inflection.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, well,
A
don't
little
speak
bit.
that language.
Well, you should learn, you ignorant human. I don't know.
So, I think we will end it here for
Okay.
today. So, anyone else, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, drop a comment. We'll get back to you on that on the next podcast.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes. And so,
All right.
thank you all for watching, and until next time, Fearless Gamers, this is Matt the Vet.
This is Matt the Clown.
And the start guy or dude. I figured
Saying, take care.
Bye.
Bye now.